authoritative figure in the household, like they hold you to a different standard. So you care about yourself more. You move different.
Good mentor, whether it could be somebody in the family sometimes too.
And I'd be like, yo, we spinning the block? What we doing?
It's Candid Talk where we lay it down. No room for fakes, we wear the crown. Feel the rhythm, catch the connection. Tune in the truth, let's spark the reflection. Tune in the truth, let's spark the reflection. So kick back now, stay in the zone. Candid Talk, we make it our own.
I
Well,
did have I guess a topic question, maybe question or something. I
yeah,
recently had a conversation with a couple guys at the barbershop
yeah.
about women raising boys to be
Uh-oh.
men. And it is a very good conversation, topic. So
Mm.
I just would like to get everybody has a different viewpoint on what it takes to raise a boy into a man, and pretty much even what it means to be a man. And it was a dynamic where a lot of my people think that in order to be a man, it has to be some sort of struggle. It was just a conversation. Does struggle equal stronger man, or can you be that same man without the struggle? Pretty much. And can a woman raise the man, be even though she's not a man, to be the man that he should be? It was real good.
See, that's a loaded question, and there's a lot of variables that go into that as well.
Hmm.
So that's like it's a more no for me than a yes. But it's kind of you ask like multiple questions. I feel like at the same time too. So
No,
can
it was
a woman do it?
it's a
Yes.
multifaceted question
The
because it
last
was
part is
just
yes. Yeah, the last
about the
part is
women
yeah,
raising men and what it means to be a man, all like sort of
yeah.
tied into.
But yeah, overall, the last part I'm gonna answer that first. I believe that's yes. Like it can be done. The likelihood, uh, is just less likely because of the understanding. So like I think a lot of times, depending on the woman, should have a larger comprehension for men after that, after raising a son. But some don't, and that's what makes it hard to raise a son. You know what I mean? So at that point, like I said, it really comes down to that variable of the woman, maybe her background with men. A lot of people try to say it's the relationship with the father, which I disagree, because sometimes some people have not to throw it out there, but bitch ass dads. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really teach them anything about men. That'd be the other problem. So it's really a lot of variables to that one. If you could rephrase it or just ask a simpler question for me, I think we can get. I feel like I answered some of it, but if you could like narrow that down to like maybe one question, I can answer that, and then you could bring it back and like let's go back and forth and add to it. But it was just so loaded. It was like a baked potato with everything, everything on it,
So
and
pretty
then
much it started. Can a mother raise a boy into a man?
it's let's say possible, right? But I think it's more of guiding him in the way, and then it allows him to figure out the rest. Like you typically what that looks like is putting him around, and allowing him to learn from others. That's typically how that goes when it's done right, in my opinion. Because if she doesn't put him in the environment of what he should like aspire to become, then it's a imaginary thing. It's a figurative thing that that it's not understandable. As far as like I said, like women and men are different. So that's what I feel like she had. Like the mothers that what I typically see is that they put them around somebody that's gonna be able to good mentor. Whether it could be somebody in the family sometimes too. be like
Hmm.
an uncle, you
Yeah.
like some big cousin or something. It happens like that. But so it depends on, like I said, the moms. But typically, some people don't have family like that no more. Like, so I feel like it's more of a no because I see like the family dynamic is just so like booty. Like it's really booty. What you think? Do you think? Because you, she gonna be like, hell yeah, I've done it. What you mean? But what you?
I think so, but you are correct. They have to be around, or there has to be some sort of influence of a positive male role model.
Hmm.
I think it does help. I do agree that there may be more of a feminine tendency if they are raised by just women or only around the mother and not exposed to a male figure. Doesn't mean they you can't raise them into a man. They just will be a different type of man.
What type of man?
I said a different type.
What type
Maybe
man?
with a little bit, with maybe more feminine tendencies. Perhaps, like if I were to show my son how to use the bathroom, if he had no male role model at all, I sit to use the
Hmm.
restroom, then my son will learn to sit to use the restroom as opposed to stand.
Man, you could take a G stand or something. Like, you gotta- KPZ, what you think on this topic? You go over there. Hello, you there? Hello, you there?
I'm
Hello,
here. Um,
hello.
Honestly, I
Nobody.
think that are we talking about like single women raising a
You know
son?
what? That should have been a question, but I would assume
Okay,
because technically that other dynamic will already be there in that son's life. If
all right.
not, because otherwise
Well,
it
I
kind
think
of go back to what I said before.
from my experience, I think women raise their sons to be the man that they wanted or want to see in a man, if that makes sense.
I
Hmm.
think it's too much coddling, and then it gets, like I said, that understanding of what men should be is sometimes if that be lacking heavy. It be lacking so heavy, especially nowadays because it's so blurred, and they be like, "You don't need to be around those." I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like teach one, sometimes you learn from seeing. Like sometimes you gotta show your son that's not what you want to be around as well. Like sometimes you just being around men. You're like, hey mom, I seen this. And that's not what you want to do. Because you can learn both sides, good and bad, by them being around the same or their type or their sex, let's say. But I don't know. That's just that's a deep one right there. Ah, damn. What about the dynamic? Like I said, so the sons that get raised, or the flip side of that would be the daughters that get raised by, I guess, a dad that's not teaching her about men as well. Like just over coddling and then over catering to. What would that vice versa look like? Is that good for them or is that bad? Should
I
I
think it's good.
think it's good?
A father, somehow, it's almost like a double standard in my mind. Because generally, when fathers are involved in their daughters' lives, they are loved a little differently. Fathers tend to cater to them a little differently, and they can actually break down to them what men look for in women and what to avoid and dodge and not fall for.
I don't think fathers that coddle their daughters do that though, because
I,
that's a part of the coddling.
mm, you
So it's like
can,
emotionally coddling too. So it's like it's almost like they can't tell them the truth about what. It's like they'll learn on their own. I've seen it. That's the only reason why I'm saying it that
See, I
way.
haven't seen that. I've seen the
Yeah.
opposite. I've seen fathers raise their daughters and actually put them on to game like this. What you look for, and those young women grow up to be they are very, very insightful, and they're loved a little differently, and the expectation is different because their father was kind of so involved on that
Daddy's
level.
girls though.
Yeah, I actually haven't
I haven't
seen
seen it
the
on no daddy's
opposite.
girls. That sound like the straightforward dad that be on some player shit. He be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be a player. Like I seen that type too, and those women grow up a little bit more like what you kind of
But what
described.
I'm saying about raised by a single dad, not with the mom, that dad,
Mm.
like putting you that more aggressive one, normally there's a woman involved, like a mother figure or something. When it's just well, what I've seen with the dad raising his daughter
I'm
alone
about to say because I seen it. That was crazy.
without, no, I've seen something different.
Mm, mm. Which dynamic do you think is would like get better results? The first one or the second one?
I don't know. That's funny because if you raise them to be too hard, then they're not in touch with their feminine side. So they're not able to really connect well
Mm,
with the man because they like the dude, like one of them. You raise you like the fellas, but if you coddle them,
Wait, KPZ, aren't you like don't you work with kids and their mindset?
good, yeah,
I need you
yeah.
to add in right now. I need you to now that I
Okay,
think
so I
about it.
seen both sides.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you
So
mean?
so I
What's
seen
both
both
sides?
sides. So I seen the kids that the little boys that's being raised by only women, and I've also seen the little girls that's being raised by a single dad. And I feel like the little girl raised by the single dad would better have a better outcome. Only, only because you got to think from a male
Interesting.
perspective. They are naturally providers, so you're teaching your daughter to be independent. um and then they have a different type of relationship, so they know what love feel like from a male perspective. They're not out here. Well, let me
Mm,
speak from my experience. I don't know what the little girls know, but from my experience, I wasn't out here wilding because I had a daddy. So it's a certain standard that when it's a authoritative figure in the household, like they hold you to a different standard. So you care about yourself more, you move different, and you think different. And I think that's why when I grew up, a lot of people say I think like a man because like I got the game from my daddy, like the
so you
words
grew
of
up with a single father?
no, no, no. But he was around.
Oh, okay.
Like he was real active in my life.
Mm,
So I think that's where I get that balance from. Like I have my feminine
mm.
side from my mom that taught me how to be a woman and carry myself with respect and standards. But then my dad taught me like about the real world that didn't sugarcoat it, like that stuff can actually happen and stuff.
Facts. Facts. Big facts. Shout out to Dad for doing that then. He was just like, yo, listen, real shit can happen, all right? You can get your heart broke out here, but you also could be breaking hearts. Don't be doing that. All right? You niggas is crazy. Don't make niggas crazy over here.
And not even as far as like just the relationship wise, like career wise, like
Mhm.
things like that. And I think that's more important.
So what's three lessons that you got from your dad that you remember to this day?
Mm. Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. He always used to say that.
That's cold.
Yeah, he used to have some
That was
little
actually
punches.
cold. Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream.
Literally, like get up. You can't be laying around thinking, expecting stuff to come to you. You got to go out there and get it.
One more
Um,
time. What was it? What did he say?
he said nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. Like it.
Ooh, yeah, nah, I like that one. I like that. What else? Go ahead, give me. Go ahead. What else you got?
And what else did he teach me? He also taught me like to have my own No matter what the situation is always stand on your own 2 feet. And what else did he teach me?
I
I
like
don't,
that.
I don't know what else he taught me. He used to always
You
tell
dropped
me
the
like just
coldest
stay
one
focused.
first. You should. You dropped
He
the
told me to
coldest
stay
one.
focused. He used to tell me to like, like encourage me to stay in school and stuff.
Uh,
And I remember when I was enlisting in the military, he told me, he was like, because I was scared. And
nah,
he's like,
wait. This is Candid Talk. We gotta have some accountability. Now, did you give an answer being biased because it relates to your situation?
no.
I'm just asking because I'm just asking what you seen more
Uh-uh.
of. Like, was that an unbiased,
If it's
objective
always
answer?
unbiased. Of course, of course.
Because the ladies gonna be mad at you. They they gonna be
Why?
mad at you in the comments. Because I'm clipping. They be
What you
like,
gonna
what you
say?
say? I can raise. She said, I say I can't raise no boy. What you talk about?
I mean,
Smack
of course,
your
because
mouth.
it's been done for years, but then when you
Yeah.
break it down to like the psychology of it, like, there's no way a woman can teach a man everything about
Tierra
being a
over there
man if
punching the
she
wall
never
right
been a
now.
man.
What you mean? You don't
Huh?
even know. Tierra over there punching the wall. You don't even know it.
No, I ain't. Yeah, I absolutely am not. I agree with her.
All right, you
It's
sat
it's
down
actually
now.
this
It's cool.
big
Look at you,
debate
you all tired. Nah.
going on right now about
That's what I said.
did you
Mhm.
see it about Jada's sister? You know her little baby, he like a year old, and she was telling him have a good day, and he waved, and then he put his wrist down, like, like he just flocked his wrist down, but he's like
Mm,
literally a year old. And people are eating her up because she was like trying to correct the behavior, but how she went about it, they were saying like she was too stern on him
I'm
because
like, what
he is
the?
like a year old.
I mean, fair, but still, that's when you really start. They remember all of that. It's, I mean, they remember the habits. If anything, it'll slow them down.
And it's a
But
learned behavior, so he
yeah,
had to learn it from somewhere.
but everybody's on that soft parenting stuff. But yeah, exactly. Learn behavior. That's a real thing. They
Yeah.
learn behavior is ridiculous. They repeat everything. Like, oh, what you doing?
Mhm.
They start doing that joint. I'm like, what the- sit down, sit down. Well, if they walking, some people, babies don't start walking as necessarily as fast. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. To each his own. But yeah, I feel like you know, I definitely think it could go either way. But that was a great question. But yeah, I'm a little bit more with the. Technically, it is more data saying it's the other way around. But as far as like the father being able to do that, but as far as the child, either or, like, who's going to be more successful? You know what I mean? In the outcome, I think the parenting style depends on the child. You know what I mean? I think you can't base one parenting style on all of, like, let's say if you had like 5 children, you're gonna have to switch it up a few different times. Like, I don't think you can raise all 5 the same, and because that was I know, like, I used to have conversations with my mom, and that's how we communicate. We had to. Like, listen, I am intellectually here with you. We can talk about this. You don't have to go crazy. But I know I put myself in position sometimes to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, I was a class clown. I wasn't a bad student or any stuff like that, but I like to have fun. You go too far, you get in trouble. It is what it is. But yeah, I think the parenting style is going to switch up based on. Well, I think you base it on a child. Do you have any? Do y'all agree with that or disagree?
I definitely agree. I have 5 kids, 4 boys. And even it's funny you said that having the 4 boys, you have to parent them differently because they
Almost like
require different
nah.
diff- they require different types of love, different types of stimulation.
Yeah.
They learn differently, so you have to teach them differently, and down to having my daughter, totally different.
Mm,
So very much so.
What's some different styles that you could tell us about?
Well, one of my kids required more physical touch, like more hugs and kisses and just more what do they call that? Affirmations, verbal affirmations, being told.
Mm,
Um one of my sons, he was very intellect, very smart. So when I
mm,
spoke with him, it was more, let's get this book, let's go to this science fair, let's do things that were intellectually stimulating for him.
mm-hmm.
So another one of my kids didn't really care either way. He just wanted to eat. So we were in the kitchen together. So I don't care what's going on. What are we cooking? What are you doing? And that's how we bonded, and that's how, our relationship went. Then I have another kid son that's street, and I'd be like, "Yo, we spinning the block. What we doing?" So you got to meet them where they at. It is a real thing.
So, what was the one that liked to eat a Taurus? Cause that's some Taurus shit.
Yes, he actually is really a Taurus.
Ah,
Yeah,
you
he
know,
makes
Chris,
steaks and he
I
does
hate it.
bread with the yeast,
I
and
hate it.
he's a real, yeah.
I used to be one of those, man. All this zodiac stuff is stupid. I was like, this shit is stupid. I'm like, y'all really into this. Y'all stupid. Then I started reading and I was like, you know what? That makes sense, but it's kind of ignorant. It's not, it can't be all real and stuff. It can't be semi accurate and nothing like that. Then I read a little bit more and I was just like, it, it's probably just analyzing or listening to me, my phone listening to me somehow. And I'm like, oh, you like that too? Then I was like, damn, you a Taurus too? And so we don't so I'm fat on the inside because it's my zodiac. Damn. I have to work out extra hard because of my zodiac.
Yep.
Because I will be big. I'm trying to tell you. I likes to eat when I can. I'm saying. Uh, I don't even know how we got here.